When and how you should use your DIY demo. That's what we're going to talk about today. But first, welcome to the voiceover huddle. We do it every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, where I try to just give you a little bite-sized nugget to help you get your voiceover business more profitable. And by the way, last night's webinar, holy cow. I've never seen so much info packed into one webinar. John Drennan's Fiverr webinar last night, incredible. The amount, like I said, the amount of info that he put into that webinar was just insane. And I even thought I was good with my Fiverr profile, but I've got a little work to do myself. Um, and so if you missed out on that, we've got the replay available through midnight on Friday night, and so the link is below on that. And I can't say enough about how much good information was built into that webinar. So if you missed it, check it out. If you're a Blueprint member, don't forget to use your discount code to check it out, and you'll get that Blueprint members only discount. So I also forgot to say like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, and then also chime in on the chat so we can do some shout outs here in just a few minutes. But let's talk about your DIY demo, when you should use one and how you should use one. So when you first start out in voiceover, it's fine to put together kind of a DIY demo because it does a couple of things. You Let's talk about when you can use it first. So you can definitely use it for practice when you're first kind of stretching your legs a little bit and starting to learn about how to record and edit and do the processing and stuff. Um, creating a DIY demo is just fine for that because it just helps work that muscle and get you more used to all those aspects that you're going to need to know. Um, it's also good for freelance sites like Fiverr, we talked about last night, and Upwork and some of the other freelance sites. It is a good place to kind of get your feet wet with working with scripts and clients and stuff like that. So when you do a DIY demo, it will help you kind of, make that first step into the VO world. It's also a good option to use when you're trying to find out whether your pro demo ready. So what I do when I'm working with a client on a demo, I have them send me a DIY demo first so that I can see if they're demo ready and they're ready to kind of take that next step into the bigger pro demo scenario. Because you've heard me talk about this all the time on here. Do not do any direct marketing with a DIY demo. You should only use a pro demo for that. But in order to show someone, a demo producer that you are ready for a pro demo, that's when a DIY demo can kind of come in handy because you can show them that, hey, here's what I've done on my own. Now let's take it up a notch or two or six, whatever, by working with a producer. Because one of the main reasons or one of the main benefits, I guess I should say, of doing a pro demo is that you do have someone who can direct you in the recording, help you with script selection and get the right mix of styles for your demo. That's the benefit of working with someone on a pro demo. But before that, it's always a good idea to kind of test yourself a little bit and see if you can put together a decent DIY demo on your own. Show that or send that to the producer and say, here's what I can do on my own. Am I ready to go full on pro demo? And those are the two main reasons why a DIY demo should be something that you do early. Just make sure that you're not doing the, direct marketing with the DIY demo. Save that for the pro demo. When you get your pro demo, then sky's the limit. You can go out and market to anywhere and everywhere. You can use your pro demo on Fiverr and Upwork and all those places. It'll just help jack up, and help you get more work because you've got a better sampling to show people. Okay, so that's when you should use a DIY demo. Let's talk about how to do a DIY demo. Okay. Because a lot of people are just like, well, okay, I'd love to do one, but I just don't know how. Okay. So the first thing to do is find some scripts. And that's one of the main questions that I get all the time is where do I find scripts to practice with or to put a DIY demo with? And the best place to go is YouTube. Hey, you're already on it right now. So what you do is you find some scripts, and I always tell people to find scripts for products and services that you actually use already. You know, if you like to eat Kraft macaroni and cheese, look for some Kraft macaroni and cheese commercials, whatever. Find some commercials that you have a connection with. You know, what kind of car do you drive? What kind of clothing do you wear? What kind of, stuff do you do for fun? Look for those kinds of scripts or those kinds of commercials on YouTube, then transcribe those scripts. There's a little button in the description on most of those commercials that you can hit that button and it'll have a transcription of the ad. Copy that, put it on a Word doc, clean it up. Usually have to clean it up because there's usually the transcription is done by AI and it's not always accurate. So clean it up, make it easy to read, punctuation, all that kind of stuff. You don't need to worry about the timestamps for everything because when they transcribe the script, there'll be timestamps. Don't worry about the timestamps, just get the script itself. And then your goal is to try to replicate that script or that commercial as best you can on your own, both in performance and with audio. So once you've got the performance down, then it's time to add music and sound effects. Now, a lot of people don't know how to do that, and that is something you should know how to do in this business um, because some customers will ask you to add music. So let's say you're doing a podcast intro. Well, that's something you can charge extra for if they want you to add music, or maybe it's an IVR, phone system thing where they want some hold music or something. You should know how to do that stuff. So that's why a DIY demo comes in handy because you can practice doing that stuff, adding music, adding sound effects. Try to replicate that real commercial as best you can on your own. And you do that one after another, and you put together your DIY demo. And that is gonna be what you can send to a demo producer like myself or anyone else who produces demos and say, "Look, here's what I've done on my own. What feedback do you have, and am I ready to do a full-on pro demo?" Okay, so there's the when and there's the how of doing a DIY demo. Cool? All right, let me know if you have any questions on that. Pop them in the, chat, and we'll do some shout outs. Let's see. Ron's first in from Grand Haven, Michigan again. Hello, Ron. Ding, ding, ding. And there's Mark from Montreal, and Corey from Whitehall, Wisconsin, and Dennis from Grant Park, Illinois. All the usual suspects are here this morning. There's David from Hamilton, Ontario, and Rich from Nebraska. Good morning, Callie from Pasco, Washington. And there's Sean from Longview. And there's Joseph. Hey, Mike from Miami. Good morning to you. Actually, it's afternoon there. Good afternoon to you, Joseph. And there's Maria. Good afternoon from Rhode Island. There's Nephi from Knoxville, Tennessee. And Maria, a great webinar. I feel like I'm drinking from a fire hose, but it's exciting, right? Yeah, she's referring to last night's webinar. It was a ton of information. But what's great about all of our webinars, they're all recorded, so you'll have them forever. Go back and study them. So Maria, when you go back and you watch it again, just pause it and go do the thing that he's talking about, and then watch a little more and then go do the thing. Um, I've got work to do myself. Like I said, I've got to go in and do some tweaks that he suggested. Fiverr's, has been somewhat of a moving target, and John has made it his mission to demystify that whole process. So I'm just still buzzing from that webinar last night. There's John from Denver and Denise from Long Island and Nicole from Ottawa. There's Andrew from Latvia. Good morning to you. And there's Wayne from Port Orchard. And Charlie from Sparta, Wisconsin. There's Scotty from Brookings, South Dakota. Oh, Fred says, "Please address the rumor about Vegas." Yes, okay. It's a unofficially official, but yes, we are going to Vegas at the end of May. I brought it up on here a couple of times. It is going to be a live in-person training event in the Arts District in downtown Las Vegas, and, it's actually a 2-day event. The first day is going to be kind of a intro to VO, for people who are curious about VO, but have never really kind of even put their toe in the water. Is gonna be kind of a high level overview of what VO is and how to best get into it. That'll be day 1, lunch included, by the way. And day 2 is gonna be just for people who are demo ready. Like I mentioned earlier, if you can put a DIY together that sounds decent enough, we can then take it up a notch. Day 2 is gonna be we've rented out a recording studio, a real recording studio in Vegas where you're gonna record your pro demo at a discounted rate, I might add. So, that's day 2. So, it's a 2-day event, May 31st, June 1st, Las Vegas, Nevada. Be there. There is a link in the description. I haven't it's like I said, I haven't really fully started promoting it yet, but there is a link in the description if you wanna learn more about it. Check it out. If you're in the Vegas area or even anywhere close to driving distance in Vegas, would love to see you come by. Oh, and we're gonna be giving away a seat to that event, as well, just like we do on our webinars. We're gonna be drawing for a free entry into that event. So pretty cool stuff. Dennis says, "I purchased the Fiverr webinar or Fiverr class at 6:58 PM Central Time and was not able to get in live, and the recorded version is not available yet in my portal." It's because, well, if you bought it that close to the starting time, that's probably I mean, it takes a minute to kind of do its thing. But, um, it always takes about 24 to 48 hours before it's actually re-uploaded into the members area, Dennis. So I hate that you weren't there, but the good news is since it is a two-part webinar, you're gonna go ahead and be able to be in you're gonna get invited to the second one in 2 weeks where it's just Q&A. So if you weren't able to ask questions last night live on the webinar, you will be able to ask them live on the second class. So I hate that you was so close to the starting time, but that's probably why you missed out, and I hate that, but luckily you've got that second one to ask any specific questions that you may have. But it will be uploaded into the portal probably within the next day or so. There's Bruce from Port Richey, Florida. Bob says, "Couldn't afford to be there last night. Pension hits tomorrow, so maybe from Wadsworth, Ohio." Okay, cool. Yeah, even if you miss the live one, if you get the replay, you're still gonna be able to attend the second webinar, the follow-up webinar in 2 weeks. So, that's gonna be huge, to be able to ask those specific questions about your profile after you've put into play all the stuff that he taught last night. And there's a lot, I'll be honest. Mike says random or I'm sorry, random TV guy says or a guy on TV says, "Can you do a webinar or live on the Upwork theme?" Yes, we actually do one of those usually once a year. We have a specialist on Upwork. Her name is Kayla. She actually teaches our weekly webinar on Upwork every Friday night, Friday afternoon. That's just for VoiceOver Blueprint members. We have a weekly webinar specifically on Upwork, and Kayla is to Upwork what John is to Fiverr, meaning that John is the Fiverr expert who teaches our Wednesday night webinar on Fiverr. Kayla is our Upwork expert. She teaches it on Friday. But yes, we are going to do an updated version for Upwork sometime later this year, probably. We did one late last year, and we try to keep it, once a year on the freelance platforms because they do change quite a bit. So we always want to give you the newest information. So yeah, we'll be doing one on Upwork soon. There's Alan from PA. Got my first Upwork client with my demo on the weekend. Fantastic. Now it's time to replicate that. So just give them good service. Hopefully they'll keep coming back. Most of the clients that I have on Upwork are repeat clients that I've had for years. They just keep coming back because they know they're going to get good service, good quality, quick turnaround time, all that stuff. Just remember, under promise, over deliver. There's Police Commander 70 or Z3, sorry, from Atlanta. Good morning to you. Oh, it jumped on me again. Dang it. Denise says, congrats, Alan. Upwork is an awesome platform. Yeah, I've found that Upwork tends to have a better quality client as a general rule. Not every one of them is, but there are typically more professional clients on there who are willing to pay more money for professional services. There's Tim from Altoona. There's Jason from Kearney, Nebraska. Can't wait to watch the webinar later today. Get ready, buckle up, because it is a lot of information, but it's so good. I mean, John has a really good way of kind of, breaking things down and easy to understand, and it's really good. He gives a lot of real world examples from his own experience in there, so can't wait for you to see it. There's Michael from Central Illinois. Great day to be working. Yes, it is. There's Joy. Good morning, everyone, from Southfield, Michigan. She says, I'm saving up for a pro demo, but I'm working on my DIY. Good for you. Good for you. Let me know when you get to a point of doing the pro demo, we can work it out. Jim says, I used to work in Southfield back in the late 80s. Alan says, I got a bite on my very first proposal. Only one so far, though. That's all right. Just keep doing it. Just keep looking. And here's the key to, well, not only on Upwork, but on Fiverr too. Apply for the jobs that you think fit your skill set the best. Don't apply for everything. Number one, because you use up all your connects on Upwork. So only be very strategic on the ones you apply for. That's going to be your best bet because, it's going to, if you're the best fit or if your skill set is for what they're asking for, that's going to be, you're going to have a much bigger chance of landing it than if you just apply to everything out there like a, shotgun blast. You're going to waste your connects and probably not book very much. So be selective. There's Guy from Chicago starting VO as a new career. Fantastic, Guy. Joyce says, about my DIY demo, once I finish it, I will go out and get feedback on it. Good. Feel free to send it to me too. I'll be happy to listen to it, Joy. There's Tracy. Good morning from Rochester, Minnesota. And Alex from Utah. There's Kirk from Greenville, South Carolina. Austin from Iceland. Welcome to you. I don't know what it is there, if it's day or night, but welcome. Glad you're here. Callie says, where can we find the music and sound effects for a DIY demo? I'm working on my first commercial demo currently. Good question, Callie, and thank you for bringing that up. I should have put that in my notes. So one of the best places to find music and sound effects really is on YouTube. If you're a YouTube member, if you go to the audio library, the YouTube audio library, you've got music that you can, and this is royalty-free music that you can just download for free, and some sound effects. But I like a sound effects site called freesound.org. Freesound.org. It is user-generated content, so it's a free site. You can just sign up and you can upload sounds for free and you can download sounds for free. So if you need a sound effect of a dog barking or something, you just type it in and you'll get a ton of different ones to choose from. Another place to find royalty-free music that I found that is free is called Purple Planet. Purple-planet.com, I believe, is what that domain name is. Free, royalty-free music. You can select by mood and genre and all that kind of stuff, even tempo. But YouTube Audio Library is a good place too. And what you want to do is you want to try to find music that is similar to the original commercial that you found on YouTube. So once you find the original, just something that's kind of got the same vibe to it, you know. And with the sound effects, you don't have to put every single sound effect in the original, put that into your DIY, but you want to sprinkle a few in. If there were sound effects in the original, sometimes it's just music. But if they have a family playing with a dog barking and a car going by or whatever, you can try to see how close you can get to that. So use those sites to find music and effects. Joy says, "Can anyone participate in the Vegas event?" Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's geared towards beginners, so if you're a VO veteran, you're probably not gonna learn anything new, but if you're new to this, then yes, because it's all about every aspect of getting into VO and how to be successful. So that'll be all of day 1 will be about that. So yeah, by all means, check it out. Edward says, "Howdy from Jacksonville, Florida." Dennis says, "Perfect, thank you." Let's see. James says, "Good morning from the Space Coast, Florida." Miguel says, "Morning, y'all from Houston. Kelly beat me to that question." Yeah, the music and sound effects are very important. I mean, you can do a dry demo, a dry DIY demo. That will at least show that you know how to do the performance side of things. But if you're on Fiverr and Upwork and some of these other platforms and you're competing against other people who have fully produced pro demos that have music and effects and have been well mixed and, sound great, and you're being compared your dry demo is being compared to those, eh, you know, which one do you think they'll pick? So, learn the skill of working in multi-track editor, adding music and effects and mixing it all together. So, definitely, use those sites to find that stuff. There's Becky. Hey, hey, from Michigan. Alan says, Cali for music, Bin Sound and Free Music Archive has some great tracks. Also free sound for sound effects. Yep. Um, I have a paid subscription to Storyblocks. Storyblocks is another really good site. It's a little on the expensive side, but with the amount of demos and stuff that I work on, it works for me. But there you can get not only music, but you can also get video footage, like stock footage, sound effects, all kinds of cool stuff, photos. It's a little, like I said, there's a price for it, but it's really, really robust. JJ says, "Always helpful. Thanks, Mike." Well, thank you, Jolie, for being here. Appreciate you. Callie says, "Thank you so much, Mike. Very helpful." Well, thank you too. Dennis says, "I also have Storyblocks." Yeah, Storyblocks is great. I think it's like 200 and I don't know. It's a yearly thing. It's like $250 a year or something like that. But it's great. I use it almost every day, because I do a lot of work for people who want background music and stuff like that for IVR or podcast intros and whatever. Okie dokie, y'all. I'm gonna get to work, and once again, link in the description for the replay of John's webinar last night, the Fiverr webinar. It is, if you're on Fiverr, it is a must. Like I said, I thought I was killing it. I mean, I am killing it on Fiverr, but I want even more. So I'm gonna make a lot of the changes that he talked about last night to my own profile. I'm gonna do that hopefully later today if I have some time. Oh, James says, excuse me. James says, tip, when adding music to a demo, drop a big dip in the EQ from around 1.5K to 3K only on the music file. This will help your voice to not get muddled in the music. Yes, that's a good point. And when you're depending on the DAW that you're using in multi-track, there is a mixer option there that you can sit there and play with all the levels live. And then there's also some things like, hard limiting and stuff like that. I won't get into the technical weeds, but YouTube is your friend when it comes to adding, using multi-track. Just do a search, whatever DAW you're using, Adobe Audition, multi-track, adding music or something like that, and you'll find some tutorials on how to do it. Those of you in the Blueprint, we've already got tutorials in there on how to do it that I teach. So if you're in the Blueprint, they're in there. But if not, YouTube is just, you can learn anything on YouTube. So check it out. There's Nancy in Yankton, South Dakota. Okay, guys, once again, I'm going to get to work. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another edition of the Voiceover Huddle. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll talk to you then. Break a lip. See ya.